Uniting America with truth, justice, and independence. This is the Norman Goldman Show.
Gerald in Denver, thanks for being with us on AM 760. Gerald?
Hello.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
I called you about a month ago and told you I listened to Rush, and you stumped me because it was my first call, and I got tongue-tied.
I apologize. Did I intend to stomp on you?
He does not.
No, I did not.
No, stump me, not stomp on me. But I was living in Denver, and I started listening to Gloria Neal, and then I started listening to your station. I've been a radio listener for 20 years, and the main thing that I listen for in a radio station is entertainment. If the host is not entertaining, it gets boring real quick. Your show has multiple aspects, and it's hard to get boring. But you asked me about Rush. Well, you want me to still tell you about Rush?
I'd love to hear about Rush.
Rush has 20 million listeners. He can have you jumping straight up and down, cussing, beating the radio, and sweating all at the same time. And it's not because he's a hate monger. It's simply because he's an entertainer. People miss that.
Well, I've listened to him every once in a while, and I don't find him entertaining at all. Personally, I find him, offensive. And, that to me, that's not entertaining. Now, I'll grant you, Gerald, that a lot of people like to get ginned up. I say incendiary things, but it's not to be ginning people up. I say them because I believe them. They just happen to get people ginned up. I think Limbaugh is doing it. I don't think he believes a word he says. He's just doing it for the money. To me, the guy drips in sincerity. He's an entertainer. But that doesn't mean that it's okay to be a liar and a manipulator. Well, I wouldn't go that far. I'm sorry, but he's washed up. He's dried up. He's over 60. His audience is over 60. He's not attracting women. He's not attracting youngsters. He doesn't have a broad show. He's trying to sell the Republican Party to people. So is Hannity. So is Beck. So is Jerry Doyle and the whole rest of them. They are trying to sell the Republican Party to people. They are shills for the Republican Party. Now, many of the other Democrats, the Democrats that are on the radio, they're trying to sell the Democratic Party to people. I do a radio show from the point of view of the listener, from the point of view of the audience. I'm here to advocate for us. You don't hear politicians on this radio show. I don't put them on because I'm not here to sell you the Democratic Party. They're almost as bad as the Republican Party. They're weak, they're corrupt, and they're bought and paid for by the same special interest, corporate special interest. Gerald, to me, an entertaining radio show can be funny. I mean, I play the silly sound clips. I mean, you hear me do that, right?
He does not.
Yes, I do. And, I do the silly sound clips. I do some impersonations. But the key to the thing is I'm trying to teach in an entertaining and engaging way. People are scared of the law. They're fascinated by the law, but they're scared of it, and it's complicated, and they don't know how to handle it. So I teach the law. I teach civics. I try and make things understandable, cut through all the confusion, and advocate for the listener. People hear my sincerity. They get what I'm doing here. All I ask of anybody is 20 minutes a day for 2 weeks. They get what we're doing, and they stick. Our ratings are very good, and especially our time spent listening is excellent. So, Gerald, there are different ways to be entertaining. Limbaugh just gets people all fuming. He calls women sluts and this kind of stuff. I mean, that's not entertainment. That's just being a pig. There are other and better ways to do it. Now, you speak your piece. I'm turning the microphone off. You go ahead.
You just stole my thunder.
Well,
literally. Hey, I listened to you one day, and some of the other shows said if you didn't start towing the line, they're going to kick you off of it.
Yeah, that's general.
You told them go to hell.
I did.
I bought you right then.
Gerald, I have been threatened repeatedly by people speaking on behalf of the National Establishment Democratic Party, telling me that I am either going to stop criticizing the president or I'm going to get kicked off these radio stations. And I have told them to go to hell, not only in private conversations, but on these airwaves. In fact, twice in the last 30 seconds just now. So... look at either we're going to be honest with each other and have an adult conversation and work stuff out and understand this complex world we live in and get things straight in our minds, or I'm just wasting everybody's time, including my own.
I listen to you every day. I don't listen to Beck anymore.
Well, he's just nuts, man. Come on.
Well, yeah, Beck's off the hill.
He even admits it.
If you are as sick as I am.
I mean, Gerald, that's not me impersonating the guy.
If you are as sick as I am.
I enjoy your show, and I like you because of everything you just got through saying. I couldn't have said it better.
Well, Gerald, thank you very, very much, and I appreciate it. And look, you know, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'll grant you that. However, I believe, and the reason we keep pushing forward with this radio show with no intentions of stopping, is because I believe that what we are providing here is very different from what you'll get from any other radio show. And Gerald, I don't like to talk about. Look, you brought this up, okay? I'm not doing this to shill for myself. You brought this up. But I've got to tell you that if you look at the statistics, if you look at the demographics, you look at the ratings, Limbaugh is done. And by the way, his big audience is not 20 million, it's 15 million. I've looked at his numbers. 15 million is the top. That's and look, the reason Limbaugh's getting all those listeners, let's be honest about this, is because he is owned and operated by a gigantic radio corporation. It's called Clear Channel. They own 800 and some radio stations, and they compel the local radio stations to carry the guy. If I had a giant radio corporation behind me that was syndicating me, because he's syndicated by a Clear Channel affiliate known as Premier. And if you own the radio stations and you own the syndication company, you tell the radio stations, guess what? You're carrying this guy. And if you don't, you lose your job. Guess what? They're carrying that guy. If I had some giant radio corporation that owned 500 radio stations and said, you're putting Norm on, I'd have his ratings too. That's not a fair fight. That's not a balanced playing field. Come on. If you knew the way this industry worked, you'd vomit. And the fact that we don't have any antitrust law enforcement in this nation is living proof of it. If you knew how this industry worked, you would throw up.
Uniting America with truth, justice, and independence. This is the Norman Goldman Show.